named mutations as discontinuous variations because they are not gradual. Okay, mutations arise suddenly, randomly, can arise in anybody. The environmental condition will change or shift the individuals having that neutral stock of mutations may have a greater chance of surviving, because who knows, a mutation that is neutral or is non-expressive as of now may become expressive under that environmental pressure and may become immediately operational, allowing us to survive. We will look into the mechanism of evolution, and the mechanism of evolution has been described by the mutation theory of Hugo de Vries. Now, what is the mutation theory? Hugo de Vries said that all the variations in a population arise due to mutations in the genome, and the inheritance of those mutations allow the variations to be transmitted, to be inherited in the next generation, and under specific environmental conditions those mutations express their phenotypes, allowing an organism to survive, to reproduce, and to produce a population of mutants which is separated or reproductively isolated from the parent or ancestral population, hence forming a new species. So let us now look into the salient features of the mutation theory. The first point is that mutations or discontinuous variations, Hugo de Vries named mutations as discontinuous variations because they are not gradual. Okay, mutations arise suddenly, randomly, can arise in anybody, and they do not follow any pattern. Like all the non-mutant variations, like the long neck of giraffes, they followed a gradient. They had a continuous gradient. Slowly, bit by bit, the neck elongated. It was gradual. Those variations showed a continuous growth of the neck, but mutations are discontinuous variations. Like if the ancestral stock of giraffes were mutated and the gene for the long neck was suddenly multiplied, duplicated, and produced numerous proteins that accelerated the growth of the neck, we would have seen that among all short-necked giraffe ancestors, there was one giraffe with a significantly longer neck. So that is a discontinuous variation. Okay, and only if that long-necked individual managed to reproduce, only then that feature would have been inherited by his progenies or her progenies. If not, then that variation would have been lost. So it is discontinuous. It is not present in every generation following a specific gradient. Okay. So Hugo de Vries termed mutations as discontinuous variations, and these mutations serve as the raw material of evolution because they are the source of all variations in a population of a species. Mutations appear suddenly and are immediately operational. As I just said, suddenly a mutation can occur for the long neck phenotype, expressing that long neck phenotype, and immediately, the moment the gene for the long neck has been multiplied or duplicated due to mutation in the embryo, then and there the bones will become elongated, the muscles, the nerves, everything will start to become elongated, resulting in the formation of a longer neck. So they become functional or operational immediately. The moment they are expressed or the moment they occur, they become functional immediately. Okay, and they become suddenly. There is no predictive model to say that okay, such mutations will occur in such conditions and in such time frames. No, it can occur suddenly. Mutations are random and directionless. Random means it can happen to anybody, it can happen in any place under any environmental conditions. So it is random, and directionless means not all mutations are useful. Mutations may give rise to a feature that may be very detrimental for an organism to survive in that particular environmental condition. So it can be beneficial, it can be harmful, also it can be neutral. There are a lot of mutations. In fact, 90% of all mutations that occur in all plants, in all animals, in all microbes, in all organisms on this planet are neutral. This theory was given by Moto Kimura. And since those mutations are not harmful, maybe they are not useful, but since they are not harmful, they are inherited. And this neutral stock of mutations create variations among a population. The moment the environmental condition will change or shift, the individuals having that neutral stock of mutations may have a greater chance of surviving, because who knows, a mutation that is neutral or is non-expressive as of now may become expressive under that environmental pressure and may become immediately operational, allowing us to survive. So the neutral mutations are the main raw materials for evolution and the stock of variations in a population of a species. So they are random and directionless. They can be positive, they can be negative, they can be neutral. They can form entirely new characters, which is known as gain of function mutation. Suppose the human genome, okay, the human genome has a neutral mutation in the form of wings. Suppose this is an imaginary situation. Now we are shifted to a planet which is a gas giant, which does not have any land. And somehow in that low gravity conditions, if we reproduce, maybe our progenies, our next generation, will convert that neutral mutation for a wing into a positive gain of function mutation for wings, which will enable our next generation to survive in that gaseous planet. And since wings were totally absent in the evolutionary history of human beings, it can be said that an entirely new character has been developed due to mutation. So this is known as gain of function mutation. Same type of mutation can occur in multiple members of a species. Likewise, I just said that the mutation for the wing, the neutral mutation for the wing phenotype may be present in a lot of individuals in the human population globally. All mutations are inheritable. They can be inherited. All mutations can be inherited because mutations occur primarily in the gametes or in the allosomes, that is the chromosomes of the gametes. They occur in the chromosomes of the gametes. So they can be inherited. So all mutations are inheritable. Useful mutations are selected by nature and harmful ones, the lethal mutations, the harmful mutations or the lethal mutations are eliminated. Meaning a mutations or a mutation or mutations which are gain of function mutations which impart a new characteristic to an organism. If that characteristic enables the organism to survive better in its environment, it increases its rate of survivability, then it will be selected by nature. It will be passed on. It will be conserved and it will be passed on to the next generation by nature. But if a gain of function mutation results in the formation of a characteristic which creates a handicap for an organism to survive in its environment, that mutation will not be selected, will not be conserved and not be carried forward to the next generation, because the organism harboring that lethal mutation means the mutation which has given birth to a character or given rise to a character that makes the organism, what should I say, which makes the organism very weak or very unfit to survive in its environment. So if an organism is unfit to survive in its environment, it will die off, it will not be able to reproduce. For example, a polar bear cannot survive in a desert. So no desert has polar bears. So they will be eliminated from that kind of environment. Hence, the next generation won't have any individuals harboring that lethal mutation, and hence that lethal mutation will be wiped out from the genome. Okay, and speciation by mutation is rapid. Hugo de Vries termed this as saltation evolution. Saltation means to jump, a great leap in the evolutionary pathway, because mutation produces an entirely new character which can be inherited, which can greatly enhance the survivability of a species, right? So within a very few generations we will have a mutant population of a species which will outcompete all the other members of that species which lack that mutation and finally form a new species. So speciation is evolution and evolution is speciation, two sides of the same coin. So it will occur very rapidly, a new species will form very rapidly, so evolution will progress very rapidly. That means a single ancestral population has jumped a great length in the evolutionary time scale to form a new species. If mutation was absent, maybe to reach that current level of survivability, current level of adaptability, it would have taken millions of years, but thanks to mutation, it may have taken only a few thousand years. So speciation caused by mutation is rapid, and Hugo de Vries termed it as saltatory evolution or saltation. So this is all that we need to know about the mechanism of evolution and the mutation theory of Hugo de Vries.